Hello everyone, how you doing? My name's Hector Martinez. I'm the sales and training rep here at Datacolor, and we're actually here to talk about something really interesting going on here at CES. The Spyder 4, people. It has arrived and it's here today. We've actually made a couple of major updates, such as hardware and software updates, and I'd actually like for you guys to tune in today and actually check out the wizard interface as we go along the steps. So over here we have our display type interface, and I'm actually just going to walk you through the interface. We've tried to make our wizard interface as intuitive as possible so that your average user can feel comfortable and not feel overwhelmed using our product. We understand that color management can be a touchy subject, but we're here to actually help you guys with the wizard interface with the step-by-step assistance so that you feel extremely comfortable running through the wizard yourself. So here the very first window that you're actually going to look at is our display type. Our display type actually gives you a different types of choices of what type of displays we can actually create a custom ICC profile for. We have our LCD. We didn't forget about you users at home using those CRTs because we don't want to leave you guys out, missing out on the action. We have those laptop users, projectors, televisions, most important, iPads and iPhones, people. Yes, you heard correct, iPads and iPhones. It has arrived, so don't miss out. This is something that you've all been anticipating, and it finally has arrived. It is here for the average user to create custom ICC profiles on their iPads and iPhones, which is killer right now. So right now I'm actually going through the wizard interface, and right now I'm going to be creating a custom ICC profile for this ISO monitor. As you can see, I've selected LCD, and over here we actually have a selection of what type of display types we can use. Our system's so intelligent that automatically she will pick up and recognize what type of hardware is connected to our Spyder 4. As you can see here, it clearly states that we have two different types of displays that we can work off of. We could work off our MacBook Pro, which is our LCD one, and we can work off of the ISO monitor. Right now I'm going to be working off the ISO monitor so you can get the full experience. You're going to hit next. I always highly recommend that people, when it comes to identifying your controls, to set your monitor back to its original state as far as default or factory default mode. So from that point on, you can simply select factory default, hit next. Here is where all the magic happens, guys. Over here we have our calibration settings. We have our recal, our check cal, and our full cal. Our recal is actually going to go through the primary colors of red, green, and blue, and 16 shades of gray. Our check cal is actually going to check our last calibration from the last time we calibrated our monitor. And a full cal is actually going to go through a full-blown 16 patches of red, 16 patches of blue, 16 patches of green, and 16 patches of gray. That's a lot of color all in one, guys. So here we have our gamma settings and our white point and our brightness controls. Our gamma settings is there's no longer a rival war between 1.8 gammas and 2.2. We've made extremely nice in the industry, and the standard is a 2.2 now. Our white point settings, we always highly recommend that you calibrate at a 65 you always want to calibrate with your white points due to natural lighting, anywhere from 5600 to 6500 Kelvin, which is the equivalent to pure white light. Our brightness settings really depends on what type of display that we're working off of. Considering the fact that I'm working off this ISO, we actually calibrated this monitor at a native state. Here at CES in Vegas, we're actually in a room that has extremely strong floodlights, so we just so happen to calibrate this monitor at a native state. For laptops, we recommend that you calibrate at a native state. Let's say if we're home working in the studio or our home office, we always highly recommend that you calibrate at your brightness points at about 120 candelas, okay? So moving forward now, pretty much what you would do is, the Spyder 4 does feature an ambient light measurement tool. You would take the colorimeter, place it over your monitor, hit next. You're going to see a blue LED going off indicating that there's an ambient light measurement that has just been taken. From that point on, you can feel safe enough to remove the colorimeter, accept your suggested settings, and move forward. Over here, we've tried to make it as simple as possible for everyone, and literally for everyone at home, to use our products. You would simply take your Spyder 4 Elite or any Spyder product, simply place it on the chalk line, and then run your calibration. The very first time you're going to run a calibration, if you're doing a full cal, it's going to take about 10 minutes. After that, once we start getting into recalling, it's under 5 minutes. So not only are we the quickest, but we're the most accurate in the industry as far as providing color management, hardware, and software solutions for the average user to use at home. From this point, once we're done after the 5 or 10 minutes after calibrating your monitor or display type, you're actually going to find you're going to end up in a room called SpiderProof, where from here we can actually make out the before and after differences of the calibration. As you can see, if you guys focus close enough on this monitor, you're going to notice that there's a bit of a shift in color, showing the uncalibrated view and a calibrated view. Over here we actually have a couple of quadrants. The quadrants represent saturation in these four. Over here we have our skin tones. Down here we have our landscapes, and the no-brainer, our black and whites. We try to provide the best black and whites that we possibly can in the industry so that our competitors don't even fall close to our shadow. And here it is, people, something that we've all been waiting for. Yes, Spyder 2. There's no longer a need for the average person to work out of their X and Y values. At Datacolor, we realized that people working out of their X and Y values, for your average user, it was a bit overwhelming, especially for someone who doesn't know much about color management. So we broke down our X and Y values so that you can actually color match 2 monitors, up to 3 monitors actually, so that color management you can spread across from monitor to monitor. Let's just say, for instance, if I had another monitor that was on my right hand side, and this monitor just seemed to be too dark and this one's just way too bright, I can simply now go into my brightness levels and adjust the brightness, my gamma controls, my blue, red, purple, and green settings. For this, it's extremely important, because now we can get that ultimate accuracy that we've all been looking for, and there's no learning curve to it. It's just simply moving your sliders until you find yourself comfortable enough to say, yes, I'm comfortable where both of my monitors are matching at this given point. From this point, you would hit next. Your profile overview, we're actually showing and showcasing what type of color space that your monitors can utilize. As you can see right now, let's just say, for instance, if I was a graphic designer or an illustrator, I'm working out of an sRGB mode. As you can see, my monitor is indicating that I'm utilizing 100% of an sRGB mode. Okay, let's say if I'm not a graphic designer and all I work out of all day, every day is Photoshop, and I'm working out of a 1998 color space, and I'd actually like to know percentage-wise how my monitor is doing. What type of space is my monitor capable of pushing? You can actually now switch into Adobe 1998 color space and see by percentage how much exactly by percentage-wise your monitor can push out. Let's say if I don't work out of a 1998 and I'm into broadcasting video, let's say I'm a Final Cut or Premiere Pro junkie, and all I do is I stay home cutting video all day long. Well, you know what? That means I'm working out of an NTSC format, which is our format for viewing television. I can actually see that my monitor is capable of pushing out a 98% NTSC color space, which will allow me to feel extremely comfortable making major color adjustments in the industry, which is very important to all of us. And another important thing, guys, which is something our competitors don't offer, is an MQA, which is abbreviated for Monitor Quality Analysis. We've all broke it down for you, down to gamma point, tone response, brightness and contrast, white points, and difference to OSD settings, screen uniformity, and color accuracy, which is most important. These are the type of tools that manufacturers use to test out our monitors before we purchase them out at our local dealer. Now we can do this in the convenience of our own home. For those who don't understand this, this is extremely important. This is major. Now we can actually see how our monitors are doing over time, whether if they're keeping up to date or if they're declining over time. And another cool feature that we provided at Data Color is cloud. Cloud is pretty much sharing uniformity and these advanced analysis testings, and we're providing them on our server to compare each and every individual monitor that's out there in the industry to see how well or who's the top dog in the industry as far as providing display quality monitors for us. You guys can tune into our website to view intuitive tutorials, or if you have any questions or concerns, you can always follow us up on Facebook. And if there's one thing that you should have crawling on your monitor, it's a Spyder, guys. So I hope you've learned a lot, and if you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to tune in to datacolor.com, or you can tune into our Facebook fan page on Facebook at datacolorfacebook.com.